Thank you.
And see that gentleman who was clapping so enthusiastically to that early performance of Sonny and Cher? Jerry Blavat, they were on your show.
And I got to tell you something, the Supremes never appeared in Philly except one time on the discophonic TV scene.
How about that? How'd you get Sonny and Cher?
Well, the show was so hot, and my vehicle was the real vehicle for kids at that time. You gotta understand, when the Geator started, I never wore a tie and stood behind a podium. I got up and I danced and I boogied. I looked like one of the kids. The kids related to it, and all of a sudden, one boom. So the record guys be calling up and saying, hey, bring in the Supremes.
So they would come in.
They would come in. They would do live over tracks. Sonny and Cher did that live over a track.
And I noticed that that was before she had had a lot of the work done that we are familiar with today.
That does not look like Cher of today.
No, but it's great. I love looking back at those old clips, like before she was the Cher we know today. I mean, there was such a genuine likability about her and the raw talent that was there.
You know, it's so funny because if you watch that, she was like a real hippie back then, you know, like, I got you, babe. And he was the one that was really pushing and pushing.
Right.
You know, it's funny that people don't know this about Sonny. Sonny worked for Phil Spector before going and putting together Cher. He also worked, he was a great drummer. He was an A&R director for Specialty Records.
How about that? Okay, so Sonny and Cher are just some of the acts. I mean, God, the number of acts that you've come in contact with are just too numerous to mention. But is there one that really made an impression on you that even today you say that's someone that's separate and totally different from all the rest?
Yeah, Sammy Davis Jr. I met Sammy when I was 13 years of age dancing on Bandstand. I didn't know who he was. And as the head of the committee, you bring all of the artists in, and so Bob Horn would say, we have company. And he saw me jitterbugging. And he said, man, where'd you learn how to jitterbug like that? I said, everybody knows how to jitterbug in South Philly. He said, man, you're like a little white me. And I broke up. I said, no, man. Through the years, we became friends. He did rock and roll. He did classic. He did Broadway. He was the guy that I really looked at and said, this is a performer.
And he was a total package.
Total package.
A total package.
Like, you would be sitting with him right now, you would fall in love with him.
I know that you were one of the first to play funk and soul and black artists that perhaps had not been able to get on-air exposure before. Do you feel like you had maybe a role in the way that we changed our views toward African Americans in this country?
Yeah, but you see, back then, music was the thing, whether it was a black artist or a white artist. The black artist that I played had the soul that I felt from the streets. It was the real deal. I mean, I'll give you an example. The Crows made a song called Shaboom. Well, a white group had the hit, but when I started to play the real deal, the kids heard the real deal, and Dick Clark did the same thing.
Has anyone ever told you that that your character in Memphis, the Broadway play, I thought of you the whole time I was watching that play?
Listen, Frankie Valli at Avalon said to me, you have to go see that play. It's you.
It is you. It's everything. I mean, it's your life on stage.
It's crazy, but you know, I mean, see, Lynn, I've been blessed that I followed my passion. As a little boy, music kept me whole. When I was lonely at night, I'd be listening to the radio, and I'd be listening to the lyric, you belong to me, and fantasizing, where's that girl that I'm going to fall in love with?
And now your life is going to be in pages. You're writing a book. You got to rock because you only go around once or rock once.
It's called, keep on rocking. You only rock once.
You only rock, let's hope. So that'll be coming out soon. And you still have all of your shows that you do, and you do your radio show, and
we own a club called Memories of Margaret for 39 years. Where, I mean, as I said, by the grace of God, I've been able to do it for 50 years because as much as they've tried to restrict me, I have followed my passion. Radio will never be the way it was, and the only reason I'm still doing what I do is because I own the time. My responsibility is to my audience and the sponsor. Radio formats come, they go. go, they change, but the Geator is still the same.
All right, and that leads me to the trivia question that I posed at the beginning of the show. I know the answer. Do you know the answer? Where did the Geator with the heater come from? What's a Geator?
You want me to give you real quick?
Sure, really quick. We have just about 30 seconds.
When I started on the air after the snowstorm, finger popping, the phones are lit up. People are calling up. Kids are surfing to see if they're in school. I said, this is nuts. This is crazy. The established disc jockeys, Joe Niagara, the Rockin' Bird, Georgie Woods, the Ace from Outer Space. I had to come up with a handle. So I'm shaving one day, and I say, this don't make sense. Wait. An alligator, it lives in the mud. If you got an accent, you say a gator, a gator, a gator. Wait, they snatch you. If you go close to it, boom, they snatch you. I'm going to snatch everybody that's listening to me. I became the Geator. What rhymed with the heater? A car heater. You're shivering outside. Your buddies come on by. You jump inside.
Out in the back seat.
You say, yeah, turn that heat down, man. Turn that heater. Parents are yelling, turn that bum down. I was the Geator with the heater. The hot heater, the record pleater, the music I was playing.
And he was doing it then, and he's doing it now. The Geator with the heater. Thank you so much, Jerry. This has just been a wonderful half hour. I really appreciate it.
I love you. You're just, your smile is worth a million words, man. That smile of you is devastating.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to leave you all with some great memories of Jerry Blavat. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you the next time.
Why is this show for you? Because it gives you the audience that you're looking for. Today's audience for tomorrow. If you're interested, we'll do everything in our power to make this as successful as you want it to be in your market. All you have to do is contact the Triangle people, and I am yours in your market. We'll give you the now generation today. Thank you for your time.